guys! Thank you so much for clicking on this video! I am wearing the same outfit that I wore in one of my previous videos because it's the same day. Today's video is gonna be a little more relaxed, and we're gonna talk about my first semester of nursing school and how it went, courses I took, friendships, tests, what I would have done differently, just a recap of everything. So I have a couple notes here, so if I keep looking over there, that's why. So to start off, I was so scared to go to nursing school. I was literally terrified. Before we actually started, I would spend most of my day thinking about it and freaking out about it, or just trying to push it out of my brain because I was so scared. I was so terrified that I wouldn't make friends and that I was gonna fail out and blah, 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 whatever. Obviously, none of that was true. I'm gonna insert a funny clip from the first day of orientation. So this morning is my first day of nursing school. Well, it's not really the first day, it's like orientation, and it's August, what day is today? August 18th. I'm so nervous. I don't know what to expect. She said that we're gonna get homework immediately. That scares me. The courses that I took were fundamentals of nursing, pharmacology, and then I took this nutrition class. That was to keep my army benefits. It was nothing related to nursing. But regardless, it was still a class that I took. I passed all of those classes with high B's and A's, so that was all fine. One thing I'll say is the information given in nursing school is so much easier to digest than just regular college classes. It's more like practical information, if that makes sense. So it's not like chemistry or trigonometry or math classes or anything like that. It's more like you can understand it. If you just sit and listen to it, you understand it, if that makes any sense. It's way more interesting to me anyways, and it's so much more hands-on, which is amazing because that's how I learn the best, is hands-on learning. So as far as lecture went, lecture was fine. There were some long days. We had like 4-hour lectures, which was awful, but that started to slow down towards the end of the semester. Lab and clinical were fine too. Clinical was really stressful for me because I'm an anxious person. I get anxiety over everything. But besides just the beginning nervous jitters, once I got into the swing of things, it wasn't that bad, anxiety-wise. Clinical is where I learned the most of everything between lab, lecture, and clinical. It was just the most hands-on, and you're literally doing these things on real live patients, so you're actually learning. And you're in a situation where you can't really mess up because then you're gonna have to explain to the patient what happened and your clinical instructor and the nurses. So it's a lot more pressure, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Also, I had an amazing clinical instructor. I literally love her. And we have her next semester too, so I'm so happy. Yeah, she made the experience so much better. She was the type who actually wanted you to learn, didn't just want to sit there and yell at you. She wanted you to actually understand what was going on. And she would never throw you into a situation where you didn't know what you were doing, which was amazing. Because I've heard a lot of horror stories about people's clinical instructors. Ugh. Lab was the least favorite for me. I had to get up for lab at like 6 in the morning, which that may sound stupid, but I wasn't about it, you know what I mean? I'm an early riser, but not that much of an early riser. I'm like a 7 o'clock, 7:30 kind of girl. 6 o'clock, no. But I was very groggy in lab every single time we had it, which was every Monday. And my instructor was good, but the ways that she taught wasn't really the best way that I learned. She kind of just talked to us and then made us practice without watching and making sure that we did good. So I really don't feel like I learned that much from lab. Peace and love to my lab instructor, but just not for me. Some like random stuff. As far as friends go, like I said, I was so worried that I wasn't gonna make any friends, but I ended up meeting some of my favorite people. Our clinical group had 10 people in it, so that's kind of the people that we stuck with through everything. Like we sat with them in lecture and we, went to lab with them and whatever, so we all got really close. I go to a community college, so that's something that I always worried about, was making friends and getting that like college experience. Oh, hi Roman, where you sleeping? Having the college experience is something that I've always wanted. I took like a different path in life, so I went to college for a little bit, didn't stay on the campus, but some people were staying on the campus obviously, so I saw them having this like luxurious college lifestyle and I was so jealous. Then I had to leave for the military for a year, felt even more like I was missing out. Then I came back and was like, well, I'm just gonna go to community college. I just didn't like the fact that I was missing out on this portion of life that everybody talks so highly about. I had those feelings, but then as soon as I started getting into nursing school and getting into the groove of things and making friends, I never felt that way again. Because the bond you have with people in nursing school is so much different. Because you see the same people every single day, you're going through the same struggles, Even down to the fact that you need a 75 or above to pass. That's something that's difficult that kind of brings everybody together, if that makes sense. Difficult times make people close. Do you know what I mean? Because with a lot of classes in regular college, it's like you're in a writing class with this amount of people, and then you have like a theater class or an art class, and everybody's like, you all have different people, so you can't really make connections, and if you're not living on a campus, it's really hard to make friends. But I loved it so much. And another thing is, because community college has such different age gaps, people of all ages go to community college. It made everything so much more fun and so much more interesting. So in our clinical group, we had people who are fresh out of high school, so they're 18 years old or 19 years old. Then you have someone like me who's 23, but I had like military experience. The people who are like in their 40s, who have kids, or the people who are like in their 50s, all these different personalities coming together. It's so much fun, and you never would even notice the age difference if you couldn't see our faces, because we all loved each other so much and just vibed together so well. It was just amazing. It was also nice because, wait, what was I even gonna say? Oh, at first I remember the first couple days, and I'll actually have to show a video if I have it. Also, there's people walking in together, and it makes me sad because I don't have friends yet. They're sharing an umbrella. Hopefully I make friends, or at least one friend, so I don't go crazy. I was so convinced that I was not gonna make friends because everybody was kind of quiet and nervous and whatever, but everybody started to get out of their shell after the first couple weeks, and that's when it started to get really fun. So as far as studying goes, I have a whole video on how I study, but it took me a minute to figure out how the best way I study is. I didn't find nursing school nearly as hard as everybody says it is. If you're struggling, please go watch that video that I made about studying, because I feel like there's a lot of valuable information in there. Once I figured out the way that I study the best, tests were a lot easier. If you know the knowledge and you know the information that you need to know, where it becomes hard is the actual taking of the test, because you can know all the information, but then once you're taking the test, if you don't really sit and focus on the questions and you don't really think about the answers and take your time on everything, that's whenever you could slip up and miss a couple questions, even though you knew that information. So things I would change if I could go back, I probably would have spread my studying out throughout the weeks instead of just cramming it all into a couple days. I did a lot of cramming at the beginning, and then I slowly realized that that wasn't really working for me. As the semester went on, I started spreading out my studying a lot more, and I noticed such a difference. This helped me not be as stressed. And that's the next thing I was gonna say. I would have just relaxed more, because before going into nursing school, you hear all of this terrifying stuff about how it's so hard and you're gonna fail and you're not gonna make friends. I would have just relaxed and realized that everybody's experiences are different and that I'm gonna be fine. And you watching this, you're gonna be fine. Literally, you're going to be just fine, so do not worry. I have beaten this horse to death and then some. What? Is that even a saying? Okay. I have talked about this so much. Again, go watch some of my other videos if you're feeling discouraged about nursing school. Another thing that's kind of random, I didn't have a real desk. I mean, it was a desk, but I had like my monitor on it and my keyboard, and there wasn't really room to do any studying. So my boyfriend actually got me this desk for Christmas, and he got me a nice new chair for my birthday, so I feel like I just have a nice desk setup now that I can really focus at and do some serious, intense studying at. Another thing that I wanted to say, and I was thinking about doing a whole separate video on, is becoming a CNA or a PCT of some sort, or even just a nurse aide, before going to nursing school. That helped me so much. As a nurse aide, you learn a lot of the simple skills that you're going to learn in nursing school before you even go. So that way when you're in nursing school, you can focus more on the harder, more in-depth skills that you need to learn. So for example, as a nurse aide, you learn how to do vitals, so like blood pressure and heart rate and everything manually, which can be really challenging. I didn't get blood pressure at first. It took me so long to really figure out how to do it accurately. So that helped me so much in nursing school. When everybody else who wasn't an aide was trying to figure out how to do blood pressure, I was more focused on something like health assessment, which I didn't feel very comfortable in, or something else that was more in depth. Another thing is just basic patient interaction. When you enter the room and you're saying, "Hi, I'm Haley, I'm gonna be your student nurse today, how are you, blah, 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 whatever," that was so much more natural and so much easier because I had to do it as an aide. So it wasn't like awkward. Not only am I learning all of these new skills, now I also have to introduce myself to a patient, which I've never done before, and it can be really scary. So if you have that experience prior, amazing. Another thing along with being an aide was working with coronavirus patients, which I know people talk about this so much. Everybody was really scared to work with the COVID patients. I really wasn't as much because I had worked in a nursing home. I knew that as long as I was careful and did everything right, I wasn't gonna get COVID from these patients. Everybody else was kind of scared and freaking out about it, but I already was kind of comfortable with it. So my final recap of the first semester of nursing school is it's definitely not as bad as everybody made it seem. If you're thinking about going to nursing school, please just do it. Watch my other videos. I'm not gonna ramble about that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this, subscribe if you want to. I love you. Good luck in all your endeavors, whether that's nursing school or college or whatever it is. And I love you, and you're amazing, and you're gonna do great no matter what you do. Okay, I love you. Bye!